Welcome to the latest show of the Monday Kickoff with the real Ben Shawmers. Today is kind of like a freestyle day. We're talking about like the friendlies. We're gonna talk about some of the transfers that's been going on. What's going on in United? Are they gonna get sold, or are they going to Qatar or whatever?
We'll never know.
But yeah, let's get right into it, fellas. England had a friendly game. They beat
Malta.
4-0.
Per usual.
Expected.
Yeah, there's a few points we could talk about there. First, Trent playing number 10. Sorry, he's wearing number 10, and he's playing in the middle now.
In the midfield, yeah.
Which people have been calling for this for ages, and it finally came to life, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think it might be a little premature, though, because we also just saw it against Malta. And granted, towards the back end of the season, he was playing like an inverted wing-back role for Liverpool and going into that midfield. But we've also just seen him as a midfielder against Malta. The people going like, oh, Trent's midfield, this is it. Chill.
It should have been there, but I wonder if his period from right back, it might affect his knowledge of that position. It might affect like
tactically.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't even doubt him tactically. I think he has the tools. He can shoot from distance. He has a pass in him.
He but does he have a turn, half turn?
That's the other thing now. Like
the awareness in the middle. You know what I mean? Like
that'll be an adjusting point.
It has to be. He has not been playing here for that long. I think he has skill sets to make him a midfield, but then he has also, I think, weaknesses because there is a degree of defensive work that you will have to do in there. We know he's poor at that already. And then, I don't know, does he have the graft in him? Can he work like that? Box to box, 90 minutes, going back and forth.
I think he's got something.
For Liverpool as well.
For Liverpool, I don't
think
he's
going to be that guy there.
I don't see it, because unless Liverpool is changing the way they're planning on approaching this.
With McAllister coming in?
Nah. Well, we were talking last week, and we were talking about McAllister coming in, and maybe McAllister and Gakpo might be the only sources of creation for Liverpool. But imagine a situation where you've played McAllister kind of how you guys saw it, as him just being your 8 workhorse, can make a pass when it matters, but is going to work. And then you play Trent alongside him, and then play a new 6 in there. Now you got Trent, who's going to be the one picking out those passes, and he's
10.
As a 10 almost, right? But he's still in that defensive box-to-box position. The only question is, physically, can Trent do it?
That's another question.
I feel like he should be fit enough because he was there in that rock and roll period.
It's the grit though. Like I don't doubt his fitness. He's a professional player. They can get that up. But the work rate, there's working and there's just running 90 minutes. Two different things.
Yeah.
So I don't see him being that guy that's like holding the team together, box to box.
Okay. Yeah, but let's talk. I want to know. Hold on, we're going on long here. We gotta talk about the number.
Number 10.
Number 10. What were you saying about that? Is it now losing?
I think it has lost it. It's losing its value gradually, but it's gonna come to a point where the numbers probably don't mean anything because I don't think it's just only 10.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of numbers that are just being given to people, and I'm like, I thought this meant something.
I've been seeing a lot of 7s being thrown around. I'm gonna just say 7s are still like
in the teams that you're looking at. Yeah, who's wearing 7?
Look at 7 for Brighton. Solly March has been 7 for how many years? Yeah, but Trossard was there. Trossard was there 7.
When they were starting up, I mean, March has been with them forever.
Yeah, so March was also number 20. How did he graduate to 7 for Brighton?
This is a winger. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is, are numbers losing their value? I feel like 10 euros, it goes to the best player in the field, and it's always usually in the middle.
In the middle of the field.
But that's not the case any longer.
Yeah, but it should be, bro. It should be like the 10 has a value. These numbers have value. 7, 10, 11, 8. Actually, all these numbers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 8 has completely lost its value. I'll say now. Like I don't think
number 8.
The number 8 gone. But like heavy hitters such as 10,
I think 11 they're going there. And 9 too have lost their value a little bit.
Bro.
9, yeah.
Because you don't see back then. You saw 9 on someone's back, and you thought like a Didier Drogba. You thought like a Fernando Torres. If they weren't like the strong physical type, you thought they were shaky. They were like, what's that word? They were shifty a little bit. But now it's like you can have Vergost as 9. He's done nothing for you. You can have.
You were number 9.
No,
you were number 18.
Like 27 or something
I'm
like
that. I think. Yeah, I thought I've seen him wearing a 9. I'm like.
But if we think about it, like the significance of each position, number based, is no longer there. Because right now, the way teams play, it's about space.
True.
So me being the 10 and then putting down my back like I am the center attacking midfielder, I'm the creator of this team. If you're playing in a team like City, that's some BS. You're not. There's multiple other guys playing in those positions. Jack Grealish is playing on the left wing.
But there's still a bit of significance there. That's fine. I'm fine with that number 10.
Were you fine with Grealish having number 10 in City? Over Silva?
Wait, no. Let's look at the past 10s for someone like a Guardiola's team. We're talking about Lionel Messi as your 10. We're talking about Ian Robben as your 10.
Statement signing for City.
Oy. The fact that he was paid with English tax don't make him a statement signing.
He was.
Is Anthony a statement signing? Is Maguire a statement signing?
Don't talk about freaking Anthony, bro.
It's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing.
Flamingo.
Hey, one is a flamingo, one is a diver. The same difference.
But no,
they're doing the same thing.
Grealish is also a brand, so it makes sense.
One is a treble winner.
Oh,
that's
it'll always get back to that, my friend.
Oh,
yeah.
City fans out of nowhere, bro.
And now also this Vinny is now wearing number 7, which kind of feels right.
Yeah.
He moved from 20. Was it 21 or 20? I think 21. Number 7.
Is Saka number 7 too?
Yeah,
Saka. I think Saka's wearing 7 for Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I really think Saka's wearing 7.
Saka is.
I don't think so. Not for Arsenal.
No, Saka is 7. Martinelli is 11. Because remember Smith Rowe, Saka, and Martinelli all switched their numbers at the same time.
I think I remember seeing
7, 10, 11. Yeah,
that's how the value is dropping.
That's literally. Thank you.
Right. He was number 7. Okay. He's a winger.
Star boy.
No, but that was not the requirement to have those numbers, bro. Being a winger, being a striker.
He's not a winger.
No,
Ronaldo. Saka.
No. He's coming up.
Look at the 7s in the best teams, bro. You go from Beckham to Ronaldo. You go from Raul to Ronaldo. You go from then you get Saka somewhere. Saka.
My only problem is that he's playing from the right, but still he's a winger. So he's a performing winger. He was chasing for the title this season.
I caught you slipping though a little bit. and then he put himself together real quick. That's fine.
Oh my god, I'll just hate us, fam.
Yeah, okay. Let's look at it though from then and now. And do you think some of it may be like our biases? Like as kids, we looked up to these players who were wearing those numbers, and now we're on the same age level, and same thinking level as some of these players. Now and we're thinking you're not worthy of a 7. I can't look up to you like that.
For me, if it's a whole different position, if someone is not playing, like who we're talking about initially,
Bellingham wanting
Trent wearing number 10.
Trent's getting 10.
Bellingham is wearing number 5. He's got the significance of Zidane. Okay, that's okay.
That's respectable.
But like if you're playing off position, like Trent number 10 for me, it's just like it just doesn't feel right. Doesn't sound right because he was a right back even before, and now he's a 10. Come on.
I get what you're saying. For me, I think these numbers came with star power. They came with an eye test that they succeed. Like the reason why. Growing up, we wanted to be like these guys because they were something special when you watch them. And now, it's battle for stats. But like, do you really feel moved when Saka is holding the ball? Talk to me.
I do, bro.
No, please don't moved when Grealish has the ball in his feet.
Okay, so that's different. It's not my type of dribbler.
Compare them to. I don't care if you didn't like the way Ronaldinho played. I don't care if you didn't like the way Kaká played. If you saw them with 10 on their back and they were playing, you'd be moved.
This is all we can only talk of these players. These are players who are in the top echelon like
now.
So we can't even speak of any different. Imagine the kids.
They don't give no numbers, bro.
Kids coming up, probably
these kids 35.
Think about this guy as stars. You know what I mean?
Some people 18. Need to jump on that Balotelli train, get your 45, and go stick somewhere.
You know, whatever it is. But I think they're losing their significance. That's my point. In conclusion,
I hear you.
Yeah,
I jump on that bandwagon. Only bandwagon I'm jumping on.
We wanted to talk about the Messi and Ronaldo
fandom.
Yeah.
It's always beautiful to see, first and foremost, because I understand why people follow them and they like them, obviously, because they've achieved so much that they're good players. I test whatever that you can come at them for, they're good.
Yep.
But then, I was watching also, it was more wholesome, I think, for Ronaldo with the speed. I show Speed Kid because since 2022, I believe May, he started like this soccer loving journey and then like picking Ronaldo and then loving Ronaldo and then trying to meet him consistently. Now the kid obviously is already famous. he has the means to travel and try to meet him. And then also it helps that Ronaldo's son, he's a fan of
Speed.
they watch the stream. So, but like seeing all of that and then watching him finally meet him, I think that was the wholesome part of it. I'm like, wow, okay, you know. Then I started thinking about people like you. I'm like, oh, you know, you I don't know, idolize, but you like Ronaldo. Yeah. And how would you act if you saw these guys? Would you be bowing? Because I think there's an extent you can go.
I saw the bowing one.
Like, chill, bro. It's a human
That's
being.
That's crazy. Okay, maybe like a couple of years ago, maybe I
would have bowed.
Teenage years, not bowed, but I would have really been. I would be more starstruck. I would still be starstruck, but there's a bit of pride about like I'm not gonna bow, bro.
It's a whole
I'm
human
not gonna
being,
kiss
bro.
your
Like,
feet.
yeah, like they're doing the most. Some guy in Inter Miami got a signature of Messi and then went to get a tattoo, and I'm like, sentiments are sentiments. I do whatever you want with your body, but like, Ralph,
Too much.
yeah,
For Messi.
Yeah, but I don't know. What should we see? Who
do you admire like that? Even
I mean, you like Ronaldo, but I feel
like
like
Ronaldo,
our liking
Maldini.
is different.
Yeah. I like Ronaldo from like a tactics standpoint, but like who I prefer as
you
Oh,
a player.
geek for like
but
you lose
Maldini
your
maybe,
cool
Maldini, Rooney, Sir Alex.
Okay.
Sir Alex, like to be honest, I will be starstruck. But I mean, you guys have seen me when I get in public, when I get awkward around someone. I'm not necessarily like the speed who's gonna go down. Oh my gosh, and start talking too much. I'm just gonna keep quiet and look from afar. I don't get people that go, let me hold your feet, man.
I mean, that's why it's called starstruck, though. I don't think you can predict how you're gonna act, but like as far as bowing or like idolizing these people, I think there's a line there. You know what I mean?
Just see Neymar.
I'd go crazy if I see Neymar, but like I'm not bowing, bro. Neymar or Mbappe, I'm not bowing though. I like these guys.
Yeah, see, I feel like it also be different with someone like my age. Like Ronaldo, Mbappe, if I seen Mbappe, I'd be starstruck, but I wouldn't like lose my head.
Bro, how
did you shake his hand? Let's go,
let's go kick
you're
around.
Really good, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you're a star.
Come play for Real Madrid.
Getting like tattoos and
tattoos. I feel like that's,
bro. Yeah.
Maybe if football. I mean, football means something to us, but I don't know. Maybe like fans who were going through some crap and they were like, football is all I had.
And that's the thing I've seen in the past with a lot of fans. Like, if you go to England, you end up seeing a lot of fans who like, you be a Sunderland fan, and they have the last time Sunderland won a major trophy tattooed on them somewhere. And you're thinking, like, I mean, I get it. It's been in your family for so long. It's kind of like heritage to you, in a sense. Yeah. But to some degree, like, why do I need to remember when Sunderland won their last title?
Everything in your life, anything. Is there anything that you would bow for? Anyone that you would bow for? Even if they took you through the gutters of like the worst time of it. Like, I don't think I'd go to that extent, but
anything. Like kiss up or
kiss their feet, like oh my god, like just you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like Ronaldo and Messi fans.
And like as a teen, Ronaldo. If I'd seen Ronaldo, I'd probably lose my head. Literally, you know.
That's why I was asking you. I'm like, he probably would have geeked out.
That's I mean, as a team though, that makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Props to you. Just cut me the check and then.
Cut me the check, yeah.
And I also think there's levels to it. There's also meeting them as a fan and nobody, like a guy from Michigan or a guy from just a normal human being, and then there's meeting them kind of at their level where you like also a star. Because I think the reason why the boy was able to get that kind of meeting him, Ronaldo, was because of who he is.
He had a connection with this kid, Rafael Leao, because that's who stopped the car, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
you know what I mean? Those kind of things. I don't think he would just like meet him if he was a nobody. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I guess I kind of see that point of view. It's kind of like, imagine if we were in the behind the scenes for 2026
this part
World
right
Cup,
now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The way we would act towards some of the players may be a little bit more on the edge, because this is like, we've worked so hard for how many years, and now we're in the door, and now we're talking to literally the people who have been waiting to talk to. Versus if we just went to a game and Messi came and said "Baba," or whatever he was saying in the World Cup, and shook
like
your hand,
and greet where you paid like $1,000.
And you're like, I deserve to see you now.
But yeah, I mean, just an interesting.
It's interesting, yeah, it's very interesting
topic.
Let's go to some of the games. Was it U.S. Mexico real quick? Was it 3-0, right?
3-0.
Yeah.
I got
Pulisic with the place.
It's gonna break.
There was a little either the first one was a little selfish, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
he had gotten past a couple people, passed the ball to someone, he was like, nah, this is mine.
Finish it, yeah.
Nah, it's okay. It's just proving that he's the what you call
poster boy for the
Captain America.
He's the LeBron James of soccer. Is what
Oh,
they say.
yeah.
Is what they say.
Hey, I mean,
Whoa.
LeBron has been getting knocked out of playoffs, so
honestly, if you maybe look at the US team, you're looking at them. Don't compare them like rest of the world. Look at them
for what they have.
For them, maybe that's how they see him, which we don't agree because we have knowledge of like other elsewhere.
But you gotta be, and we were talking about this before the shoot with someone else. I forget who. But you've got to be realistic to some degree, right? You got to be able to look at the
LeBron
bigger
James
page.
Is crazy though. Like
LeBron James is mad, bro.
This man has not moved or shake a single record for the United States, I don't think.
And he's choked in every big competition they've been in, like, and big teams he's played for. So where's this statement?
I feel like the nail in the coffin is him leaving Chelsea, and he's probably going to
go
to like the middle.
Everton, man. I still see that happening.
I think he will fit right in, and he'll be all right. That's my opinion. This is nothing against like a bias of US. Like if a player is good, comes out of here, or the teams are good, I will say, because I slowly think the US right now is getting better than Mexico in terms of like the players that they currently have, like in the national
caliber,
teams.
Yeah.
Mexico's been losing a mad ton to them, and they're doing nothing but fighting, bro. Like they were kicking people and just
100%
ammo.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're going in the right direction, but as to acknowledge them like as, oh my gosh, this is a national treasure, or like they're gonna win the next World Cup is mad.
And I think that's where the middle spot, the sweet spot is, right?
Yeah.
Because you see kind of like what you were saying, Mexico is losing players to them. Like Pepe, the guy who scored the third goal for US, he's Mexican, right? So you can see that like the quality players in North America want to play for the national team, because there's definitely a project that can be made here. The only problem is this delusion of American fans wanting to compete immediately with Europe. No, you're not there yet. You need to build. You need to build.
I feel like they need to be getting more like maybe European coaches early on.
Yeah.
Because you can see a lot with those players, like especially the players in the middle, like McKennie's. Tyler Adams is a working horse, but that's kind of the name that gets thrown to his players. It's not like, oh, this is a finesse player. It's like, oh, it's workhorse.
At some point, you're gonna need the finesse players. Workhorses, perfect, they're great. You're gonna need that in the team, but like produce actual talent, like guys that we can look at and admire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Reina is a player who you could be like, okay, this he can transcend into Europe easily. Which he did for Dortmund. But like injuries kind of messed him up. But he's
one of those kids. Even like what's his face? Team Ware. He has that little bit. He's not there yet, right? But he has that a little bit. And I think like if you look back at when the MLS was picking up its steam, you had players like Tim Howard, Landon Donovan, and Clint Dempsey end up in England, right? I think if the MLS was serious about themselves, they would start making sure the players that make it into that level are literally in their prime. It doesn't matter if you're taking them from second division Brazil, put them in their prime, because these things of people retiring here, now the MLS talent that comes up is guys who've worked harder than the talented 35-year-old who's retiring, right? No, if it's a 25-year-old who's balling out in freaking Mexico, lead him to MLS, because he'll play against a freaking Jack Harrison coming out of college. And Jack Harrison has to prove I'm talented enough to be playing at the top level. And guess what? When Pepe and them come back, if they're not performing, you have people in your national league that you can say, all right, let's pull in.
Yeah, that one's tough though, because like you need to balance like quality, form and quality, I guess.
Yeah, no,
it's true. I think whoever's the best should be playing. But then also I can see here having the same problem as England with that national pride, where they want the coach to be from the country, the players to be from the country, born in the country, not like a Mexican that came or whatever. So if you want to conquer football, the way European, because there was a point that like if you watch Europe, yes, it's European players, but they import a lot,
all their talent,
and that's why they have the talent they have and the way they are. So you gotta accept other sources and then use them. So
and use them well.
Yeah,
you know?
speaking of Europe, actually, this is not even a good transition. Let's talk about Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
I was gonna
Arabia.
say, speaking of Europe, there's a place draining all the players from Europe.
They're doing a good job,
Hey, Saudi.
attention-wise and
Yeah.
star power.
Yeah.
Star
They're
power.
they're bringing attention to those leagues, and they're gonna grow with time, I think.
Oh yeah, and they're easily tempting.
I
to
mean,
any
yeah,
other players,
but like
man.
for these players, for me, bands that's okay. But if I'm in my prime, bro, like Ruben Neves, I'm 26.
But
I
think,
should have made that move to United. I should have made that move. Da 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 da.
but how many of those doors are open for Ruben?
There's probably
factor.
players who want teams who want.
There's teams that want
player.
him, but how many of those doors are actually open? Because, for instance, you can
But,
say
okay, maybe the fund's gonna be different.
the funds are
Yeah.
different. The funds they will offer him are different. The funds they will be willing to pay Wolves
Yeah.
are different.
Okay, I get
So,
that
like-
part, but I'm like, we always it comes back to that Oscar discussion,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, did Oscar make the right decision? It's how you look at it. He did make the right decision for his family
Yeah.
because he was set.
I mean, yeah. But then he is a Uno reverse card. Back to that Rooney Ronaldo thing that you'll have. Some people want to go there. They want to have reached the best that they probably can and then bow out. Some people are okay playing,
That's true.
being
It's-
professional,
it's-
taking the money and dipping.
Yeah, that's different. It's
You know what I
different levels to it. Like
Yeah.
it's different hunger. It's different.
Mentality, desire, your goals.
Your
Yeah.
goals.
If
are
he- maybe he
different.
doesn't want to go to Man United. Then what?
Facts.
The other
And-
thing I was. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna move us out of here. Like,
oh
either way.
no!
Gotcha.
I was even gonna say, in like, people have different levels, like Hope was saying. But then even what they call this thing, people also have different. I forget. Just move on.
I was gonna say like
It went off my mind.
I think it was the European UEFA president or whatever, but or like something big in there. He was saying they're doing it the wrong way, kind of like China. They're throwing all this money into it, but then China never really got big, even after they got all those stars. So I'm not sure exactly how they could do it.
And that's
Saudi.
the
Yeah,
thing I
Saudi.
was going to mention. You triggered my brain.
Yeah.
The people also make decisions based off a gamble,
Okay.
right? So we're not privy to some of the ways Saudi's planning on growing their leagues.
Yeah.
But we know someone like Ronaldo, who's very methodical about how he plans his moves and his decisions, has come out and said Saudi is going to be a top 5 league in the next couple of
Yeah.
years. Right? So they've clearly convinced him of the plan, and have convinced Benz of the plan.
I buy
So
it.
there's probably a
I
project
I
that
buy
they're
it
working
because
on.
also China was buying. Yeah, it was retirees or older guys, but look at the star power the people that they're pulling
Facts.
has.
The Oscar.
when they got
Ronaldo
Oscar was-
alone.
When they got some decent names.
They got decent names at the back
di-
end.
Yeah, so on the
of the
back end of the careers.
careers.
Yeah.
I mean,
mean-
Iniesta was a good player. These are guys that are great players or ex-great players, but like the star power and popularity in the moment
Facts
is
is
important. Like now
lost
we
on
we
them.
know of
Ronaldo-
Saudi and we're talking about.
Yeah, Ronaldo's a
Al-Nassr
heavy
because
name. I'll give you
Ronaldo,
that.
100%.
one of the heaviest names
Yeah,
in
I'm
football.
like, okay, if you can pull that.
You do something
I
right.
think Messi too is probably gonna go that direction eventually because he's starting to talk about.
I mean,
He's
with
done
this,
everything that he can.
no, with him, he's doing
He's doing the MLS.
thing.
Oh,
I
the
know
dude
that,
they
but you
slapped
think
him.
he's
Things
gonna
after-
really?
No,
yeah.
but-
the deal he has.
They could milk
it's,
him.
it's
Yeah.
like so what I see with Messi's deal is, if you guys remember Beckham coming to MLS,
Gotcha.
Yes.
his deal was so perfect. That's how he bought Inter Miami, or started Inter Miami for like 25 million when everyone else is starting him for like 120, 200
Yeah.
million, right? Because of his deal coming in as a player, because of his star power.
Gotcha.
Messi's doing the same thing. Apple TV, with everything. Like, he's just coming in, okay, give me stock options here, give me ownership rights here, give me this here. So by the time I choose to retire, I basically run football in America. That's his goal. So I don't see him pulling himself out of America going, I need to play in
Yeah.
Saudi. Maybe he goes on a loan to like a European team because he's tired of the
That's fair.
like level.
Ronaldo's enough though,
Ronaldo's
and I even think
Benz,
that star
you know,
power wise, he might be like one of the best, if not like the top right
he is
now.
easily the greatest.
Yeah.
with
that I think they also need to find a way to integrate their leagues with Europe somehow.
Yeah.
Like play against the European
To try
teams
and compete
regularly.
and-
Yeah.
compete.
And they have the money to buy in.
Yeah.
I think with the change, remember how they mentioned by 2026 the Club World Cup would have, the way it's set up would have changed, so it
Yeah.
could become more entertaining, and it's not just Palmeiras versus Real Madrid getting smashed, right? I think that's where we'll see Saudi pushing their self in somehow, because I mean, they, like you said, they have the money. to buy into a lot of these leagues.
I believe in their plans. I just believe in them.
Apparently, the Saudi people are like taking over. Even
They're
like
taking
with
over
golf.
football.
Yeah. Even I mean
golf too.
Golf.
Dang.
It's a money sport, bro.
Yeah, the big
That's
sponsors
impressive.
now.
Yeah.
Even that, yeah. So like, it's if you got the money,
gotta
that's
do
the
it.
money that talks.
And did you hear even in Africa they're doing the same thing? Like
Yeah.
they've bought the top 5 teams in Nigerian Premier League and said we will set up your academies. Give us your talent to come to Saudi as you
Okay.
go. So they're
Get some
planning
South African
something.
stars.
Yeah,
We're
We
in
know
there.
where the best African players are. Don't worry. There's no need for Bafana.
They do produce a lot of like. You are a hub for a lot of players, but we have some special.
There's some nice
names
players, but
too,
it's
yeah.
just
You
like,
got some
come on.
special names.
I don't know. It's like to be an athlete. Like I feel like you guys are. I don't know. Like the height definitely does
Wow.
contribute.
Wow.
What?
Maybe eat
If
some
anything,
food.
I would even give him. I don't know much about
As a fighter.
Nigerian football, but my problem with South African football is tactically and like I would say academy. I don't see much from there. We rely too much on like individual ability and talent.
Yeah.
That's why people are picked out of there. But if we could find a way to have good academies and good systems in place,
From the ground
tactical,
up, yeah. It'd be
The
nice.
talent
Same
is
thing
there,
with-
bro.
It's
The
the same
talent
thing in
is there.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Same thing with
It's
Nigeria.
Yeah.
just it's just when we get money, it needs to be managed
Yeah.
properly.
Properly, yes.
Really.
It doesn't need to go into someone's pocket, bro. It just needs go back to the field, just set everything up, get a good manager
But
in
it's
there.
tough though because like, if these people get this money, have been suffering for some time, and they're like, oh, they run into money, and they're like,
That's a
listen,
big
take
excuse.
take
no,
a
no, I'm just
bunch
saying
of
like
kids.
if there was resources from the jump, this wouldn't be a problem really.
But you've got to think this way, and obviously it's easier for us because we can see from outside.
Yeah.
But if you're if you've been poor your whole life, and I give you $50,
That's
is
exactly
it
the
smart?
problem.
Yeah, but at some point you've got to realize, hey, maybe I've spent that $50 every time I've gotten it on booze and party and food, rather than reinvesting it to make more money so I can sustain the lifestyle I want.
Take the kids out of there. Take 30 or like 50,
them
100 Nigerian
elsewhere,
kids,
bro.
100 South African kids. Raise them, even if you don't raise them, but like train them outside of the country. They still have the citizenship to come back and play. But at least they're in places where resources are used properly.
And we've done this social experiment. The only thing I'll say with that is we failed with it, right? Because if you look at the Nigerian national team right now, half of that team did not get their training in Nigeria. It will be Ademola Lookman,
Gotcha.
Osimhen, all these kids. Osimhen obviously academy in Nigeria, but by 17 he was out of
was
Nigeria.
out of it.
You know, a lot of these kids go to Europe. They learn the system in Europe. By the time they come back to Nigeria to go play for the national team, the state of the team is in
how
such
it's run,
poorness.
shambles,
How it's
yeah.
run is such shambles that they're like, the fuck is going on here?
But
Maybe
then
I
you
just
still
chill
get
and
to
make a
say-
bank.
We have a Nigerian
National
superstar.
pride.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's better than nothing.
That's true.
You know
That's
what I mean?
true. Kids can still look up to someone.
That's how France is thriving. Like, it's a bunch of immigrants that are there and now playing there, now playing for
now.
them, and we see what they can produce.
Oh, yeah.
So it's there, but I just think between resources being mismanaged and all the shambles, it's not gonna work out.
Do you reckon we need to start doing that for coaches too? Because if you look at systems all around the world, like coaches are always learning. They're almost in the academy, not just for the academy. They're also in the
learning
academy so
too.
they can learn how to become better coaches. But here we just go, oh, who's the guy that's been in the federation longer? Who's the guy has won with the team as the captain before? Who's the guy that is a superstar name? Let's
that's-
give him the job.
If they probably give. I'm sure they do. They give players who have like coaching. They've worked on a coaching license, blah blah blah. But you also need that person who has enough influence to
On
the
the
players,
team,
and so it's kind of hard to balance. These guys who were superstars before, they're always gonna have maybe like a more priority over.
Yeah.
But then why don't you go educate something? I don't praise England for this because I don't rate this manager as much, right?
Yeah.
But someone like Southgate, right? It's a Crystal Palace player, not a superstar in his day, but he's been trained through the process, and now he's the head coach of England, and he's done well enough for them.
But his journey though, he started with like, was it the woman? What was it?
Yeah, instead I
With
think
like with the
under 21s or under
something.
18 something.
So he was already geared towards that route.
But we're also
There's
looking at
people
like the
like that, you know?
bigger picture, like national team. What about every country
Little
has
tiny
its small leagues.
Yeah.
Just to improve that alone, it'll produce enough good players for the national teams.
Exactly.
The state of the leagues is bad in
And
these countries.
yeah.
So that's the league is terrible,
Bro.
national team there's no hope.
When match fixing is a regular in your league,
So
it's not. Anyways, yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a game where we combine the trebles.
Treble.
You guys want
we
to
can
do
do
that
that
still?
as a last. Yeah, we'll do
let's
that as a
run
last
that.
bit. So we're combining them, or should we put first 11, and then we see who we're benching with who's in the field. So
We can
who
do
we
that.
taking that guy over that guy?
We can do that.
Okay. He's gonna need to pull up.
Let's do the City first 11 first.
1999.
1999, I can tell you off the top of my head.
Okay,
Schmeichel-
I
Put
just
them
need
both
it.
aside, and then we're gonna say from left back, whoever was playing left back, are you keeping
Our
the
left
United
back goes
guy
into
or
the team. Who's
the
your left
City
back?
guy?
Nathan
Okay,
Ake.
let's start with the goalie. It was Peter Schmeichel.
Peter Schmeichel versus Ederson. I go Peter Schmeichel.
First, maybe shot stopping.
Shot
right?
stopping,
Shot
commanding. He
Commanding.
was a scary ass mofo. Big dude, off his line quicker than anyone. Could win the ball in the air. Aerial command, everything.
That's
He
true.
has over
Maybe-
Ederson except ping.
I'll trust the back in the day goalkeeper for that. I don't. Ederson is good, but I don't look at him to save City from a game.
You just
He
look
did
at him
really
to
well
play. He
in
did well in
final,
Champions League
yeah, he
final.
did
Give him
big.
that.
But Lukaku helped him as well.
Oh no! La
That's me
Shaka.
being honest.
Yeah, so yeah, Ederson only has a ball playing over him, which
him.
is very important in this day and
It is.
age.
But
Yeah.
Schmeichel has everything else over him. And let's not forget, if we're talking about important performances, Schmeichel's important performances, I mean, he took the Danish national team to basically a World Cup final, didn't they? With that Lodra boys, period. He's that Champions League final against Bayern, that game should have been at least 4-0
Okay.
by the time we came back, if not for Schmeichel. So
Yeah,
there's little
yeah.
things like that still stand there. You can't be, he's a better ball player. Well, he's better at everything else that qualifies as a goalkeeper.
All right, let's move on. Gary Neville versus
Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker.
I'm taking Walker. I really believe in the. I mean, Walker is a good defender, but then
Actually, it was this Gary Neville himself. He had the. I watched a video on YouTube where he was talking about this. For me, is like where he is, like from his perspective. He's
Okay.
like, he said he would have chose Walker, but he said, positionally he wouldn't get as exposed as Walker. So
Oh yeah.
So I feel like Walker has to like recover because sometimes he gets caught off position and stuff. But I think I have to give this one to Gary Neville because of the longevity and how long he'd done it with City United.
I mean, that's
and he's
fair.
part of this winning.
But it's
team.
not a
Nah,
subject
yeah,
in
come
Manchester
on.
City longevity, by the way, and United. Those are two different.
Yeah.
Like in City, there's no such thing as longevity. Let's be honest. They're looking to sell their 6 starters right now as it is.
Take 2 years out of
Yeah.
your life and just back out.
There's no
Useless
such
now.
thing because there's no reason why Walker didn't quite. Did he? He didn't even play in the UCL, did he?
No, he did. He was he came off the bench in the final.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came off the bench, but like there was no reason to even for him to not start.
Yeah.
But the fact that they just had the option to not start him.
Yeah.
So
But you also forget that, and this is something very interesting that we always miss, is that United, back then, Fergie's United had those same options. But for some reason, and this is something Keane and Gary Neville have joked about on air before, because Keane is like, yeah, you only started every game because you were the only right back. But let's be honest, United's pool then was City's pool now.
Yeah.
So we
it
could
is
have gotten
true.
any other right
Who
back to go take
rotates the
his spot.
team more, Ferguson or Pep Guardiola?
Well, Fergie rotated his team pretty frequently. There was
I
literally
don't think he's changing the squad more than
Fergie.
Pep.
Yeah.
The reason,
But I mean,
but
it
that's
just could be like
recency,
another
right?
Yeah.
But Fergie was at his time for his generation was rotating as much as Pep is. Equivalency
For real.
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
why
know
you
that
ended up
about
with
him.
stories like Gary Neville would say like Fergie would come up to him and be like, "We've got a game against Chelsea in 2 weeks. I'm gonna rest you for that game." And he would leave thinking, "Did the manager just tell me I'm too shit to play the next 2 games, or did he tell me you're so
More
important, I'm
important.
saving you for that game?" But that's what Fergie knew how to do it without getting his players like Cancelo would come to him and go, "Hey, I haven't played in a while. Why am I not playing?" And then you have to sell him. Fergie
Let's
just
go to the
knew how
center
move
backs. Is this Dennis Irwin?
No, Aaron was left back.
His left back. Was it
Center backs were Jaap
Jaap
Stam and Ronson and Johnson, Ronnie Johnson.
So that would be versus
Diaz and
Diaz.
Akanji. No, Akanji. Well, I guess Akanji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kanji.
I go. Yep, Stam definitely is in there. He's one of the greatest center backs in history of football. United, AC Milan,
and you'd probably have to be better with Pad with this. With
Diaz a little bit. Yeah,
I was about to say like I'll keep Diaz,
Stam.
but like Akanji can sit down. It's okay.
Left back. See, it doesn't really have a left back.
Dennis Irwin goes
hybrid.
He scored goals from left back. We'll take him.
Cancelo was a good asset, but like
I really hope Madrid can tempt him.
Cancelo.
He's really good.
He'll be nice though. Right back for y'all.
Really
good. Bro. We need one.
Be nice.
Who else? So let's go to a 6. Who wasn't a 6?
Well, we played a 4-4-2. So it was Scholes and Roy Keane. Typically in the Champions League final, it was Nicky Butt and
basically
Beckham.
Rodri
Scholes and Roy Keane versus Rodri, and you can say Gundogan maybe.
Gundu.
Yeah.
For Scholes, I'm okay with Scholes staying.
Okay.
I think I'll take Rodri over Keane for me.
Make your points, please.
I'm going off of like Rodri's, basically his importance and abilities in Manchester City. I like a guy that is potent up front, that can hold his own at the back, the workhorse. He's the engine for City, man. He initiates the pass, he controls the play. And yes, they are like the reason why they're playing him in that position over, because I think that's kind of Gundu's position. I think Silva also once was kind of like a 6 for them, but I just think that he's more complete than those guys, especially defensively. Yeah, I'll take him.
Okay, but you're also
tell me about
Keane.
Sorry,
Keane did all those things, right? Defensively, solid.
Did he have a shot?
Offensively, solid.
Gotcha.
He scored so many goals. That treble win, semifinals. He got suspended for the finals, but basically dragged United through the mud against Juve. We should have lost that game. He basically won us the tie. So, and then he was also a leader. I don't see Rodri like getting the squad riled up and ready to go. I don't see Rodri running into the tunnel to go knock out the other team's captain. I don't see that happening.
It's about
different eras, yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. There's not everyone is gonna be a leader in a team, so.
But you need that dog though in your midfield, and he's a dog.
He also has a bit of like finesse, Rodri, about him. He can control play.
I just love
tempo,
watching him.
He got that in him. He just got it in the
like
British style,
bro.
You know, Rodri's like Spanish. He's got some elegance with this. Yeah, I was gonna say some suave. Keane is very.
You like gritty.
But he's got that gritty energy. But then he also has the suave that's not. It's not pretty suave. It's like a Jordan Henderson type suave, but better.
We probably should have even chosen a formation to.
We can go 4-2-3-1. It's the most simple formation to throw things in with. And then we'll say one of United's
what did United? They played 4-4-2.
Played a 4-4-2.
In the final, I don't condone playing a 3-2-4-1. Personally, it worked for Pep.
Yeah.
I do not condone playing in that formation.
And
though
there'll be some analysis of that later this summer.
Scholes and
Scholes. I say Scholes and Keane. You're saying Scholes and Rodri.
I'm saying Scholes and Rodri. I'm not sitting down Rodri for Keane.
I don't want to sit down Keane at all.
I actually like Keane.
Now you can
yeah, boy.
Especially all the intangibles.
Yeah, I'm good without him in the team at all, actually.
Yeah,
but
okay, let's
2v1 right now. So
Scholes can take it.
What position? What's the next position?
Let's do the wings first, because for the 10 would have to use one of United's strikers.
Sure.
Wings, we had Beckham, Giggs, or Beckham, Bloomquist. We'll go Beckham and Giggs since they're the most prominent players.
And then wings though, because we have Silva and Grealish, really.
Oh, I'm licking my lips already. Come on.
Giggs and who?
Beckham
and Giggs.
David Beckham.
Set.
Yeah. They made a movie after him. Nah, he's already set.
I can sit down Grealish for Beckham for sure.
Okay. Giggsy.
Giggs versus Silva.
26.
It's not as obvious as I don't think it's as obvious as you think it is. I don't think it's as obvious as it is.
Playing for Manchester United at the highest level since he was 17.
Dribbles,
bro, like Silva.
Don't say like you didn't see Giggs back in his heyday, bro.
I think
that treble win.
He wasn't at the clear start.
That treble win.
I feel like
FA Cup final. Literally, we forget about David Beckham's banging it against David Seaman from 25 yards.
He's sitting down for Silva.
Come on.
I feel like
Giggs dribbling through the greatest Arsenal team of all time like they were water.
I feel like it was a little choppy.
No,
that's him saying it. I think as far as the completeness, Okay, I don't see with these old guys. I don't really know like their abilities like to the core. So that is gonna play a factor in like me picking some of the recent guys. But
That's
the completeness.
I'm not. I don't remember a game by Giggs where I'm like, oh my god, he dribbled all this back. Oh,
yeah, because you all saw him when he was old and becoming a midfielder versus a winger.
That's probably.
And right now, it's kind of like it would be interesting to see him prime in the same team because Silva is a midfielder.
He's a mid now, yeah.
But he's that complete that you can put him anywhere and he'll do the job. But
it's fine.
We can move from this one, but Silva for sure.
Okay, we'll say Silva. I'll concede Silva.
No, give
Beckham
because of his because of his time, bro.
To be what? Come on, baby. So basically, a City team is useless. The only player has made it so far is who?
Diaz. De Bruyne.
So 2 out of 11. Okay.
Whatever we say, De Bruyne is getting in. We might as well go like
striker partner. I'll say
Haaland versus.
Okay, we'll go Haaland and De Bruyne because Andy Cole. I'll put Andy Cole as our striker option because that's where he was banging in goals. Dwight York was a good striker.
Yeah, Haaland is definitely going in there. It's not even.
But Andy Cole done it in the Premier League consistently. But Andy Cole.
How old did he start playing in the Prem? What did he do his first season?
He was Newcastle. He was balling out in Newcastle, scoring goals. I think either Newcastle or Blackburn, and then he went to United, and then was scoring goals. And he was one of the highest record signings at the time when he went to United. So it's not like Andy Cole was this bang average. He's just one of those guys that back then you weren't flashy. You weren't trying to be the Beckham.
I don't even know how he looks, to be honest.
That's true.
But that's the reason, though. Like, remember,
it's a hard conversation.
This is the big thing, though. With football, we have to realize that, like, the likes of Beckham, Cristiano, players like that who brought in the marketing aspect of football too, have made it very hard for you to recognize little players. Because these guys are legends. Shearer's a legend, but they're not marketed then.
But yeah, Haaland takes it.
A lot of it is just depends.
I'm never gonna be mad. 52 goals is enough, man. And then we can say De Bruyne. We'll make it fair. That way you get 4 players out of 11. It's not too mean.
I just know that not all of the Man United guys that play 99 are getting in. That's for sure. Like it'd be half and half, but a respectable. Like there's some Manchester United guys that I'm like you can't sit down Scholes for me. I don't think you can.
Wait, hold on. Treble year. Cantona was still at United. No, he left the season before the treble. He left the season for the treble. I was about to say, we might talk about De Bruyne sitting his ass down for Cantona, bro. Imagine Cantona and Haaland, the attitude up top. To have that, teams will be shaking.
Nah, fellas. So that's
Pepper
the team.
Fergie.
That's the team who Pepper Fergie. No. Let's do it.
Fergie. Leave it alone.
But if City does it up, if they repeat this achievement,
I'm hoping
it'll be a different conversation.
If they would a double treble,
a double back-to-back treble,
but I'm not gonna say it's out of the window so far. I can see them
even if they win
consistency.
Maybe a
Prem
trio
and
in
then
England,
locally.
They could do something like that. But that would just be reminiscent of old United.
To be honest,
we'll just be doing the same thing.
I just wanted to win
No, but it'll be the same thing. We've won the treble. Now we're gonna win the league and 2 cups. Yeah. Now we're gonna win the league and the cup and community shield.
They'll start eclipse y'all eventually if they.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying if they go straight away and go back-to-back trebles, United is not even in conversation anymore. And this is a United fan saying this. Like, if they go back-to-back trebles, I will shut up and say, okay, shut up, give us Saudi money or Qatari money. Let's fix this shit.
I'm not even too worried about that. I want them to get another UCL again, back to back.
You got dreams like Pep.
Nah, it's not. I don't think it's unachievable. Like City is not gonna disintegrate after this season. They're gonna be consistent, and they've proven to be. This would have been a second if they didn't choke the first time. So I think it's not impossible, and they always end up semi-final, final, semi-final. So
it's true.
I think it's not too far away.
And the money and the guys you're
that's a dream. Back to back.
Treble's tough.
That's a dream.
Got to perform in every competition. That's a tough thing to ask.
Yeah. I think we should wrap it up there.
Yep.
You guys let us know your team and reflect on the team that we picked. Did we make any mistakes? Let us know. And it's the summer now. We got more content coming out.
Oh yeah.
We got some deals we're working on.
Oh yeah.
Just be on the lookout for what we're doing.
Pay attention.
Low bench Romas. We out.
Put me in, coach.